Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sorry, I'm running a little behind. My computer wanted to act a little silly this morning. What?
Good morning, champ. How are you?
Much better, thank you. Hope everybody is well and that everyone enjoyed the holiday. We'll give it maybe another minute and then we'll go ahead and get this cracking this morning. Excuse me. I may have to clear my voice a little bit as we're going through the training this morning. So bear with me, everybody. I'm certainly not trying to gross anyone out. Everyone who needs to, just make sure you send out a reminder to some of your success partners so that they can hop on. We're heading into 2020. We're about to close this out. Closing out No Mercy November today, and we'll be into December. This year flew by. Goodness. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I believe being a really good steward of time. Time is life. Excited to see everybody who has logged on. I want to give honor and respect to all of our senior partners that are on the line, to Mike and Brandy, to Jared and Portia Wilkins, to Paul and Nina Moorer, to Tracy and Kay Fisher. I see Wayman Patterson is on. All of our other amazing leaders. We're grateful for all of you, taking up the cause. We're building it for our last name. That resonates with me. I hope it resonates with everyone else because it really is something that we need to herald and scream aloud to as many people as we can. One thing I know for many people who come from some of the places and spaces from which many of us come from, not much talk about legacy. There's a lot of emphasis on survival, on maintaining, on making ends meet, but there's not often a lot of conversation around legacy. And now all of us, let me, excuse me, let me mute these lines out real quick. Awesome. So with many of us that are on the line now, we may be considering some things for the first time in our lives. And some of us have been exposed to some context of living where people are living their legacy. That's pretty powerful, that they're not intending to bless their families and their generations with or by their death. They're looking to live out their legacy with all the people that they love so that they can watch and enjoy the people they love and care about most to enjoy what they're building. Okay. So interestingly, this morning, I'm going to be drawing a reference from my favorite book. My favorite book happens to be the Bible, but I'm certainly not on here to disrespect anybody else's beliefs. I'm not trying to proselytize anybody, but I'm going to tell you something as I reflected upon and thought about a record in this book. It made me think of nothing else but network marketing and the dynamics that we experience in network marketing. For many of us that are on the line, I think we all could agree that, statistics show, the experts say that the people who do the best in this industry are leaders. Okay. And I think we all could agree also that in this industry, the likelihood of many of us actually personally sponsoring a top leader in this industry is statistically very slim. Okay, very rare. All right. You have to be a bona fide and credible leader to often find yourself in a position of that sort, right? So that's not to discourage anybody. What I hope to do is encourage you with the right information, because that means that the responsibility of leadership is to develop new leaders, okay? And that's something that often isn't really shared frequently enough, in that we ought to be able to create new leaders in waves, right? So there should be waves turning over of new leaders. Now, I'm going to tell you that most of this is subject to a lot of people's emotions, and emotions tend to change and vacillate, and that could be a huge obstacle in the building of a business. Okay. I'm hoping that many of you will be inspired to take on a new word or idea. And that new word or idea is enterprise. Okay. That maybe you could even go beyond just seeing this as your little side hustle or your little side business. Even if you intended to build it part-time, hopefully you'd be building it part-time, but developing a huge and thriving enterprise, okay? That could outscale you personally, that could out-earn you personally. Those are the types of things that I want us to start with. So the one thing that I'm noticing for many people who begin in this industry and then kind of, play around with the vehicle, no matter how powerful it is, it's almost like, having the resources to purchase a Lamborghini and only driving it 55 the entire time you own it, right? It really would be underutilizing the power of the vehicle. So you're kind of playing around with it, but it's not because the vehicle won't perform at a higher level or that it can't go faster than 55 miles per hour, and that it's not designed to go much faster than 55 miles per hour. The fact is, there are some things that inherently in the owner that might cause them to think that it's okay to just drive a super vehicle 55 miles per hour all the time, okay? And so one of the first things that I know we all could agree upon is, for many people, whether consciously or subconsciously, there is something very limiting about our belief systems, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you something. For many of us, I think our belief systems suffer, and it's not because of unbelief, all right? I'm going to tell you, I think we generally have some lazy thinking at times, in that we use this rote word unbelief, when really I believe our problem is belief. It's what we believe that's driving our energy level, our mental focus, the way that we're able to push through challenges and obstacles or not. It's what we believe. And so for many people, they have a hope that isn't equal with their belief system. All right. And that's where the disconnect tends to happen. They hope great things, but they don't believe that great things will or can happen for them. All right. And so I want us to just get clear on, in this record, it's found, and the story is about this kid. His name was Joseph. And many people who are familiar with, Christian ideas, Christian teaching, they'll know who this Joseph is, right? And they might say to themselves, I know all about this guy, Joseph, and his story. I'm going to tell you something. I have a bit of a different perspective on this story because many people, we understand that this story begins with Joseph receiving this coat of many colors. And I want to translate that into something a bit more practically. It means that before Joseph ever envisioned or perceived the dream, he was validated. He was validated individually. He had 11 other brothers, and he was the youngest. That means he was the smallest. He was the least experienced. He was, the least informed, not because he was the least intelligent, but because he was the youngest. All right. But he was validated and he was loved more than all of his other brothers. Again, I don't want to focus on all the nitty gritty specifics on that. I just want us to kind of grasp that he was validated. All right. So the first thing for many of us, whether you've been doing this at a high level and there's more for you, or you've been extremely challenged in this industry for perhaps the lifetime that you've been in this industry, and you're trying to figure out, why is it working for all of these other people, but it doesn't seem to really work for me? And why is that other people can enroll new customers, but I don't seem to be able to enroll new customers? Or why does it seem that other people are relatively easily enrolling new business partners, but I'm having the hardest time in the world? No one wants to listen to me. No one wants to take a look at my information. No one wants to join me in business. All right. So listen, first things first, you're going to have to look within and take this trek within to understand that you've already been validated by a power that is beyond network marketing, that is beyond business in general. You have to start from that center point, from that foundation, okay? That there is no respecter of persons, that you can and you will, as soon as you decide that you're worthy of your best and highest and most authentic life, okay? So that's the first thing, validation. If you aren't comfortable with you, you're going to have a very hard road ahead of you, and that is irrespective of whatever endeavor that you embark upon, okay? So that's where it starts. He was validated. All right, now I'm going to tell you something. I'm a firm believer that if you believe in God, that you need to know he validates everybody before they begin their journey. All right, so that's why this is very important. He gets this coat of many colors. He's validated by the love of his father. He understands that he's preferred above all his other brothers. And that's a very, very important starting point. All right, next, once he's validated, he perceives this dream, okay? And he gets this vision that his brothers are going to bow down to him. All right, just stick with me. This is going to make a whole lot of sense when we get through the whole record. All right, but so don't make any determinations yet if you know the story. All right, but he sees his brothers are going to bow down to him. All right, here's what's interesting, that he has two dreams. All right, we usually think he only had one. He has two dreams. The second dream, he sees a typology of his father and his mother and his brothers bowing down to him. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. Here's where the drama rises, right? He knows his brothers hate him because he's been validated, because he's held in such high esteem. He's favored, right? They hate him for it, not because of anything he's done, but because of who he is, all right? And because of how that has been identified clearly, that he's favored, all right? Now check this out. He does something that we often misrepresent, and he shares his dream with his brothers, knowing that they hate him because he is favored. Listen, when you capture a vision, you can't be quiet about it. You can't keep your vision to yourself. You can't keep your cause, your mission, your goal to yourself. you have to share it with other people. All right. Now, again, many people are going to interpret it negatively because of how they think things played out. But again, stick with me. We're going to make this real clear in just a few minutes. All right. So he shares it with them. They hate him even more for his dream. Like the record goes on to say that they hated him because they envied him. All right. Now watch this. When he shares the dream, I want you to see this because many of you are thinking that people don't get the dream, that people can't see it. I'm going to tell you what I now understand and know. No, the problem is people see it, but they don't like what they see because they envy you at first. All right. And you need to understand these are not strangers. These are his peoples. These are his brothers. These are all his older brothers. Some of them were old enough to be his father at this point. Okay. So you need to understand he shares a dream. They hate him because they envy it. And then he goes on to share the second dream with his dad, his mom, and his brothers. And now they're all upset. But it says the father observed the same. So watch this. While you're thinking people don't get it, the fact is they're often put off by the fact that you're thinking on a higher level, that your vision is beyond survival, that now you're talking about and thinking about thriving. You're looking at life through a different lens. Now you're no longer suffering from what Dr. Willie Jolly calls possibility blindness. All right. Now you perceive nothing but possibilities. You're now ready to become master over your future. You know, you're ready to take fate and destiny into your own hands, and you're excited about that. The first thing that's going to happen is people are going to envy your clarity. They're going to envy your dream because they're not really going to be able to believe that with you in the beginning. All right. So this is why you have to believe with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your strength, what you have seen. All right. If you haven't perceived it clearly, and if you're not all in on it, I promise you it won't translate. Now, let me tell you something. Once you've been validated, once you perceive the dream, you have the vision, the mission, the goal, and it's clear, you are armed with that because you don't go from the promise to the fulfillment of the promise overnight. There's a journey in between. All right. It's that dash in between the beginning of our life and the ending of our life that makes up and constitutes our life. All right. I always think that's interesting how people do that on people's obituaries and stuff. They put their birth date and their death date with a dash in between, but the dash is the only important thing, really. You see this? So watch this. So here's what's interesting. He shares this dream, and they all are dreamers too. Notice this. In this story, all of Joseph's brothers and his father, they all interpret what he saw. So they can see it. All right. It's just not making as much sense because it's not their dream. They don't understand how the dream can benefit them because of what it looks like. Listen, there's going to be people who are part of the responsibility to help you get where you are to be. There's going to be a benefit in the fulfillment of the dream. They just can't perceive it from the beginning. So set your expectations correctly, my brother and sister. Set your expectations correctly. Not everybody is going to jump right on board with your dream. So watch this. The first thing that happens in their envy is now they want to kill him. There are people who watch this. It's not really personal. It's not really you that they're after. It's the dream. They can't stand the idea that your life might be better than theirs in some way, that you might really experience life on another level. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Don't focus on your haters. I'm going to tell you, you can do that if you want, but don't focus on your haters. Stay focused on the dream because it's the dream that's the only thing that's important. because the dream is bigger than any one of us. The dream is about all of those that we're connected to. Okay? So watch this. So now they devise a plan. They see him coming. He's actually being sent by their father to check on them. And they see him coming and they say, you know what? We're going to kill this dude. And then their oldest brother, Reuben, he decides, let's not kill him. He is our brother. Let's just throw him in this pit. Now, this pit is really a well, but it's a waterless well, okay? I'm going to tell you something. This is where I started to perceive this a little differently. Most people think that that's a horrible thing, that his brothers threw him into a pit. And many people would think, I've got this vision, I've got this dream. It's glorious, it's wonderful. We may understand or not the true magnitude of it and what it's going to mean for our family and our future, for our legacy, our posterity. We might understand it or not, but the fact is, we've seen it, and we often think that the very next step should be fulfillment, that we're supposed to realize it overnight. No, let me tell you, the first stop after being validated, after seeing a dream and sharing it, is you're going to be put in a pit by people you love. You just need to understand it. It's part of the process. And this doesn't say anything about them. This is about us. This is about who are you going to be in that pit. Do you give up on the dream because you're in a space that you never intended to be? Like it looks like things are going backwards instead of forward. Do you give up on the dream and say, oh, well, I guess this is it. This is out of my control. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Here's the reality. They throw him in this pit, and then watch this. We think that that's a step down when really that was a promotion. The pit was a promotion because it was one step closer to what he had envisioned in his dream. Now, he didn't realize that in that step, but the reality, if you're not clear on your dream, you will have nothing to sustain you while you by yourself in that low place, that sunken place where it's dark and it's dry and you're by yourself and you're feeling forsaken by all the people you thought was going to be rah-rahing you straight to the top. I'm just telling you, it doesn't happen that way. Not in any endeavor, probably, but it certainly doesn't happen in this industry in particular, okay? Now, he's in this pit, and guess what happens? They decide not to kill him, and then they see some of their relatives, all right? It says that these Ishmaelites come by. Well, remember, Ishmael is the half-brother of Jacob, all right? So these Ishmaelites, this is family. He actually gets sold to family. And then the family sells him into slavery in Egypt. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. We often think, man, this is a horrible encounter. Like, he goes from getting this promise, sharing the dream and the vision with all the people he loves and cares about. They see it clearly, but clearly don't care. Throw him in a pit, then pull him out the pit only to sell him into Egyptian bondage. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know about any of you. Most people quit at the pit. That's even if they don't stop their auto ship, even if they don't stop going to meetings. Some people mentally and emotionally, they just tap out. They like, I'm done. All the people that were supposed to come on board and run with me, they've forsaken me, turned their backs on me. They've abandoned me. I'm here to tell you, you get to find out how clear you are on your dream in that pit, and now you're in slavery. But watch this. Notice this. The conditions don't dictate who he is. The conditions don't dictate how he perceives himself. He's already been validated, and he's been further validated with the dream. Okay? If it doesn't look like what you saw, you've got to keep going because the story is obviously not over. I'm going to say that again. If it doesn't look like what you saw in the dream, you've got to keep going because the story is obviously not over. All right. He's sold into Egyptian bondage. And then I'm here to tell you something, that it's in there where he's in Potiphar's house, that you need to understand something. He's made ruler over everything in the house. Potiphar doesn't even know what's in the house. He said everything that he owned was in Joseph's charge. He didn't even know what he owned anymore because he had taken his hands off of everything. He was that trusted. He was that skillful. He was that wise to continue to make things grow. Watch this. This is key. Will you continue to shine? Will you continue to provide 100% of the value you bring, even when you've been sold out? Will you continue to decide to thrive, even when it looks like it makes absolutely no sense to help these people, to provide your full value, power, wisdom, intellect, vision, influence? Will you continue to provide it when you've been sold out? All right, now, I'm going to show you something. Leaders lead. Remember, we started talking about leaders are the ones who really win in this industry. So that means leaders lead in spite of the circumstances and conditions. When your check is going in the opposite direction, leaders lead. When other people aren't showing up, leaders don't let the absences dictate their motivation, their energy. I learned this a long time ago. I forget where I learned this. This is not my original statement, but I learned a long time ago, momentum flows down, not up. So as leaders, you have to be a creator and generator of momentum. You can't wait for people to show up and pump you up and bring a certain energy. Momentum flows down, not up. All right. So will you continue to show up and provide all of your value when it seems like it makes sense to disappear and hold out? All right. Next thing that happens is, the anointing is attractive. Mr. Wilkins, I found out there's going to be people that show up. They're attracted to the anointing. They see that you're a prosperous person. They see that things increase in your hand. Mrs. Moore, they know things go up when you show up. You understand what I'm saying? So watch this. Because they know this, they attach themselves. And then Potiphar's wife, she starts coming at this guy, Joseph. He's young. He's around 18, 19. You see what I'm saying? And young, wise. He got all this power in Potiphar's house. There's nothing off limits to him in Potiphar's house. And when she starts to come at him, she divines a way to seduce him. This is like them other companies, them other people that know us, that they attracted to that anointing. They attracted to the fact you're a prosperous man, you're a prosperous woman. They're attracted to your wisdom, to your influence, your success, your track record. Now they're trying to seduce you. Now they want to pull you over to another company, another deal. They want to pull you over to another leg in the same organization. Like, it gets ridiculous. You got to understand, watch this. He tells Potiphar's wife, how could I even consider to do such a thing? There's nothing in the house that's off limits to me. The vehicle is sound. Everything is still powerful. Everything is still straight and lovely. Why would I forsake all of this to have the one thing that's being withheld from you? I'm here to tell you, focus on the 99% and not the 1% you don't have. Focus on the 90% and not the 10% you don't have. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the vehicle. So you got to stay focused. You got to stay consistent. And hopefully you're consistent in the right thinking and behaviors and not consistent in the wrong ones. Okay? So watch this. So now he refuses the seduction, and then he gets set up because he won't go another way. Just know people going to lie on you. People going to try to defame you. They're going to try to question the authenticity of your results. They're going to try to make up stories about how you got where you are, that somebody did you a favor, that somebody did something underhanded. Listen, you got to stay focused on the dream. When things start going left, the only thing that keeps us right is the dream itself. All right. So now it was the fact that he understood this can't possibly be the story. He gets set up, and now he's sent to prison. All right. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. You got to understand that this is truly amazing. When you get sent into prison, this is the inner prison. All right. Now, again, he got promoted into slavery. Now he's being promoted into prison. And this is the inner prison. All right. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Most people don't see that as a promotion, but this, again, is one step closer to the realization of his dream. All right. Some of you, you're being led by emotions instead of the dream. And this is the trap. When you get in your emotional bag, when you get caught up in your feelings can persuade you to give up on something because of this temporary setback or this temporary challenge. I'm here to tell you, let the challenge, listen, you make something of the challenge instead of letting the challenge make something of you. I'm going to say that again. You endeavor to make something of the challenge instead of letting the challenge make something of you. Because sometimes the challenge makes something of us that we would never, ever truly intentionally agree to. All right. So he gets sold into the inner prison. Now, let me show you something. Even in the prison, he shines. This means he's still maintaining integrity. He's maintaining authenticity. He's been sold out once again, but he's leading. Again, no matter what arises, are you going to continue to lead in the face of great adversity? Are you going to stay focused on the challenge and continue to provide 100% of the value that you bring to your team, your organization, your senior partnership? Because this is the only way you truly become the value that will equate to the experiences and the assets and all the things that you could hope for and desire. It's the only way you realize it. All right. Now, once he's sold into the prison, guess what happens? There's some guys in there who used to be of the palace, but now they've been sold, they've been put in prison. Isn't that interesting? I know most people think that's a coincidence. No, that's a matter of providence. All right. You are being moved step by step towards the realization of what you saw from the beginning. If you could just stay the course. Guess what happens? Not only are they in prison and they've come from the palace, they have dreams, but they can't make sense of their dreams. And they're so upset by these dreams that when Joseph comes in to check on them, he notices that they're upset, that they look sad in the face, and he asks them, what's going on? Why are you so sad? And then they tell him, we've had a dream and we can't interpret the dream. He said, well, I'm a dreamer. Share your dream with me. I'm going to tell you how to make sense of it. Some of us, we keep trying to connect with non-dreamers and we mad at them. You need to find some dreamers, some people that have vision, some people who truly intend to have more, to be able to create more memories, to be able to create more industry, to be able to enjoy their lives because they're running their own time. Like, you got to look for the dreamers and connect with the dreamers. Stop trying to put all the non-dreamers on your back because you have all these hopes for them. Come back for them. Find the dreamers. The only way we find the dreamers, we got to put ourselves in a position to meet the dreamers. The only way you can do that, you got to ask the right questions. Notice, he didn't come in and state anything. He asked them, why do you look so sad? What he's asking them is, what's going on in your life that's got you in this way? What's happening? We got to be ready to ask the right questions so we can step into people's reality, so that we can understand how they feel about their circumstances, and instead of just vomiting our business all over them because we think this is what they need. No, it only makes sense to dreamers. So the dreamers share their dream with him and he interprets their dreams. For one of them, the dream is a good thing. It's an omen. It's a prophecy that they're going to be restored back to their butlership. All right. They were the cupbearer or the butler to the Pharaoh in Egypt. The other person, he was like, no, you about to be hung and you're going to be eaten up by birds. All right. Now watch this. This is where it gets really interesting. This is where the drama rises. He tells the butler, I've interpreted your dream. You're going to be restored back to your position. He said, listen, remember me when you get there. Remember that I helped you understand. Remember, I helped you get your mind back on track so that you wouldn't fall into a sunken place, a depression. He said, remember me, mention me when you get back to the palace. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I know many people, do y'all understand 2 years went by? And it says that the butler was restored just as the dream was interpreted by Joseph, but he forgot about him. You know, that tends to happen. When people start doing well, they'll forget about you. Now, they meant what they said when they said it, that, you know, they got your back, they riding with you, they ride or die. They meant it when they said it, but then, you know, they get caught up in their own success. They get caught up in their restoration, right? Look, don't get mad. Joseph continued to lead, to serve, to provide the value while he's still there in prison for 2 more years. And then guess what happens? Now Pharaoh has a dream. And he can't interpret it. And look what he does. He calls all the industry experts first. Because it says he called all his own magicians. And he wanted to know, can any of you interpret this dream I've had? Because I'm troubled by it. You know, all the industry experts, we keep believing that we're waiting on all the industry leaders to show up and help build our business, help build our organization. Guess what? Many of them were clueless. They couldn't comprehend. Watch this. Guess what he did? He said, oh my goodness, I now remember something I should have remembered 2 years ago. The dream kept Joseph's hope alive. He was still focused. He hadn't gotten to the realization of it. So he knew the story couldn't be over. Watch this. When he remembered him, he said, you need to get this guy, Joseph. He's a Hebrew. He was in prison. He interpreted our dreams. And just as he said, that's what came to pass. So Pharaoh said, get him here. They immediately go get him out of prison. Now watch this. Most people think that the story ends because now Joseph is in the palace. We think that that's the realization of his dream. It isn't. Do you know the palace had nothing to do with what he saw initially? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Most people keep thinking that earning more, having more, getting a bigger house, having more stuff, being able to travel more, that is the fulfillment, the end all to be all. I want y'all to check this out. Notice this. He gets to the palace, interprets Pharaoh's dream. He's made second only to Pharaoh in the land. And then guess what happens? Most people say that's the end of the story, but his dream still hasn't been fulfilled. What he saw from the beginning was his brothers bowing down before him, and his father, and now his mother can't because his mother is now dead, and his brothers bowing down before him. So guess what happens? The dream he interprets for Pharaoh is that there's going to be 7 years of plenty and then 7 horrible years of famine. And it's in these horrible years of famine that his father sends his brothers to Egypt to buy corn. Now dig this. His brothers come in and he recognizes them, but they don't recognize him. Here's the question. Are you going to allow the years to develop you in such a way? Because look at this. He's 17 when he first sees the dream. He's now 30 years old in Egypt. 13 years have lapsed. Do y'all see this? Are you going to allow the time in between to develop you and make of you somebody that your brothers can't even recognize? That your mindset has developed so that even the people who knew you best can't even recognize you anymore. That your attitude has been elevated so greatly that people can't even recognize you. Don't even look like where you come from. Your language is totally different. You're not a complainer any longer. You're not negative any longer. You're not, watch this, you're not misguidedly hoping something of others that's just not even realistic. Do you see this? Requiring something of others that you're not even willing to do or be or have for yourself? No. Are you going to let these 13 years make something more of you? Or are you going to let them chisel away at you so that now you look and sound like exactly where you were when this whole journey began? No, Joseph is totally different. All right. He speaks a new language. He's been made bronze by the Egyptian sun. His brothers don't even know who he is, but he recognizes them because watch this. Although 13 years has passed for both of them or all of them, he can tell who they are because they've not changed much. Do you see this? Here's the key. Don't try to adjust yourself to make other people comfortable after you've been elevated. They don't have to understand. They don't have to see you properly. You have to maintain who you are now. What the circumstances have required of you, and you met those requirements, and now you're thinking and living and being on a much higher level. All right? Now, dig this. I'm going to speed this up for the sake of time so we can get some questions and answers, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Wilkins. Listen, when they get there, guess what they do? They all bow down before Joseph. And now the first dream is fulfilled. Do y'all see this? Here's the point. Most people think the dream is so we have power over others. No, the dream and the realization of the dream is to understand you have power for others. Joseph had to go through every promotion, every step in the journey so that he would have the power necessary for his family. That now in the midst of famine, watch this, they had money. When they came with their money to buy the corn, he sent their money back with them. They were nervous about all of this. He finally told them, bring my little brother back with y'all. He didn't use brother. He said, bring your youngest brother back with you. That's how I'm going to know that you are who you say you are, that you aren't spies. Listen, I'm here to tell you all, stay the course, stay focused, stay consistent, develop your own momentum. That starts in here. You got to be energized about the dream so that you can serve your business. I'm going to say that again. You got to be energized about your dream so you can serve the business, and then understand no matter how successful you become, your success is for those that you're going to empower. Your power is for those that you're going to be able to increase their vision, to expand their horizons, so that they know there's far more possible than we've all been living. They finally bring their father. Their father is reunited. He makes himself known to them. Here's where I close. You got to catch this. The greatest challenge was not the pit for Joseph. The greatest challenge was not Potiphar's house and being sold out for Joseph. The greatest challenge was not prison for Joseph. The greatest challenge was, will I forgive my brothers who put me on this course? Will I extend to them beauty when they gave me ashes? Will I extend mercy and compassion to them when they threw me away like trash because they envied who I was? They envied where I was going. Will you have the power to remain integral, humble, a servant in the face of those who obviously they didn't forget about them? They now were remorseful and saying that all the stuff that was happening was like karma. Can you be who you are and extend mercy and still benefit the people that did you harm? Still open doors, still help them, watch this, leverage your credibility, your honor, your position, your power, even though you might feel on some level they don't deserve it. If you want to be extremely successful, Go through your steps of promotion, understanding it might look and feel like demotion. It might look and feel like you've been forgotten and forsaken. It might look and feel like none of this is making any sense at all, that this isn't for you. I want you to stay the course, remain focused on the dream, because until the dream is realized, the story isn't over. Mr. Wilkins, I'm going to turn the call over to you, sir. I thank you for the time to share.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, brother, but there is some noise in the back.
That's 215-437-2358. Telephone number 215-437-2358. If we could get that person muted. And normally we could just mute the whole lines and not allow people to unmute themselves. But nonetheless, I think there's so much. Unmute me. Okay. All righty. There we go. You can still hear me. Okay. Awesome. Well, I wanted to say thank you so much for serving on the platform this morning. I always brag about the leadership of this team and of this organization, because I don't know too many other teams, whereas you have this many six-figure earners inside of it works that will assemble and share of their time, their talents, their wisdom, and their experiences with people all over the country and all over the world for free. Obviously, Mr. Rashiid, Pastor Rashiid, I love working with ministers and pastors from obviously all over the country and all over the world, because you seem to have the ability to take the stories from scriptures and make them applicable to what it is that we are doing in our business and in our life. And, one of the things I love to do is I love collecting stories because it's the stories that allow for the challenges to change me. And I start going through the process and understanding the process of the experiences that I'm having, because as Les Brown says, in the good times, you put it in your pocket, and in the bad times, you put it in your heart. And so I put these types of stories in my heart because, a lot of times we think it's the how-to of the business. I know earlier on in my career, I used to be like, man, how do I do this? I mean, show me how to make a prospecting call, and show me how to do a presentation, how to do a three-way call, and how to meet new people, how to leverage and learn social media, how to attract the big fish, and all the how. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you this, what you heard today represents more than 90% of what's required for you to accomplish your goal in this business. Because it's not the how to, it's the why to. It's not the discipline, it's the disappointments that takes people out. It's not that people don't know what to do, it's just we don't do what it is that we know. And so I want to say thank you for that training. And I took obviously a lot of notes, and I'm going back and forth sending messages and texts and saying, did you hear that? He was talking to you. Your name is Joseph. But anyway, I'm excited. Closing out, ladies and gentlemen, I'll let some of the other leaders share as well. But I want to say this, it's been an incredible month. We've called it No Mercy November. I told you this was the month, whereas you have no mercy when it comes to your dreams, no mercy when it comes to your goals, no mercy when it comes to distractions, because distractions are those things that you see when you take your eyes off the prize. I know many of us, you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I hope you did. We had more than, I think, close to 50 people at our home from the Nigerian side, the American side, all sides came to form Voltron at the house, and it was just absolutely beautiful. It was incredible, and I'll never forget, one of my cousins came up to me. He says, man, how does it feel to be successful? I'm looking at all this. I'm looking at the house and the cars. I said, you know what success is to me? I said, it's having family all together at the same time in the same place. And so hopefully you guys had a chance to enjoy your families this last week and give them samples of some carb blocker and, greens on the go. Come on, super reds and, keto coffee. Well, maybe not keto coffee because, you got to hide some of that stuff. These folks go crazy when I give them this keto coffee. But hopefully you were able to sample people, your family and your friends at your various celebrations. And that's the thing I love about this season is that you're meeting so many folks, and you're catching up. And one of my other cousins, she came over. She's, obviously we grew up together, but she's looking around. She's like, Jared, what is it that y'all do? Do you know? I love when people ask that. What do y'all do? And of course, I had to hit her with the professional line. We market sports and nutritional products. She was like, what does that mean? And then I asked her the 4 questions. Do you or anyone you know drink coffee or tea at least an occasion? How you drink your coffee, black or cream and sugar? What's your favorite brand of coffee? And does your coffee pay you to share? So anyway, you'll learn that a little later. Some major things coming. Now let me close out with this. My wife and I, we were actually at corporate this last week here before Thanksgiving, and we had a chance to see some major things coming. How many of you want to know what the major products and the announcements are coming in the month of December? Bosh, come on to the camera. If you want, all right, I don't see everybody. Y'all are all blocked out, so I don't see nobody. If you want to know what's going on, come on to the camera. If I don't see you on the camera, I can't tell you what's going on. I think you're a spy for another company. All right. All right. How many of y'all want to know? Y'all want to know? Okay, cool. Here it is. What is coming is better than what has been. Would you write that down right where you are? What's coming is better than what has been. Now, let me kind of give you a couple of clues, some blues clues as to what's coming. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't do the hype. I'm not the hypester. You know my number one product when it comes to our business is leadership. That's what I sell. Everything rises and falls on leadership. I am also aware, though, that the majority of people, that they can't pay their bills with leadership. Okay? The majority of people can't pay that light bill with leadership. They can't pay, and it takes them a while, as Mr. Coleman was talking about, to matriculate through this process of learning and developing and going from the dream through the drama before they get to the destination. That's a sermon all by itself. Dream, drama, destination. You had a dream for why you started. You must endure the drama for what it's required until you get to the destination of what you dreamed about in the first place. Do you hear me this morning? So, for your notes, here's what's coming. It's going to be shareable. Write it down, please. It's going to be sampleable. Write it down, please. It's going to be highly, that's 5 highlies, highly consumable. Yes, it's going to be highly consumable. Watch this. And it's going to be retailable. What do I mean by retailable? Cash and carry. You're going to be able to sell this product or products and make you some money. I call it, you're going to be able to put it in HIP National Bank. How many of you like HIP National Bank? You put it right there in your hip. You're going to be able to make money from the products that are coming. And so let me kind of give you the mindset. Couple things here. Remember, I've got some notes here I want to give you. I was at corporate taking notes for you. Write this down, please. Write this down. 2010, please, for your notes, for those of you that celebrate Mark Pentecost, you celebrate the ranch, 5,000 acre ranch, you celebrate the island. Am I boring y'all? I can log off right now. Am I boring you? Okay, all right, cool. So you celebrate the ranch, you celebrate Pentecost Air, the planes, the helicopters, his children working at the office, and his wife praying over chairs all over conference and all. You celebrate all those things because what you're seeing, watch this, you're seeing the 2019 version of his destination. Are you listening to me? You see, that's what you're seeing. That's what you're experiencing. When you come up to the event right there in Florida, you're going to see more than 15 to 20,000 people at conference in February. Everything I'm going to talk about right now is going to lead us up into February. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Do not, let me repeat, do not try to coupon clip your way to not attending conference. You've got to be at conference this year. This is it. Did you hear me? This is it. This is not the time to lallygag. This is not the time to play games. This is not the time to be caught asleep on the side of the road. Conference is going to be monumental for this next run. Now, I want to give you a couple of numbers because it's exactly what Mr. Coleman was talking about. 2010, write it down. It works global sales, 25 million. for the year. Yes, 2010. I'm not talking about 1999. 2010. This was 9 years ago. Are you listening to me, Rachel? 9 years ago. Bridget, are you hearing me? All right, Marie, 2010 to 25 million. 2011, watch this, 45 million. So it was some growth. What happened between 2010 2011? One person showed up. Write this down, please. You're always one person away from a major explosion happening into your business. You're always one person away from poverty to prosperity. You're always one person away from the pit into the palace. You're always one person away. So Mike Patillo, Chief Sales Officer, Chief Strategy Officer, joins It Works, 2011. Systems get put in place. Vision gets clear. One team, one mission, 100 million. And they decide, hey, we're going to streamline our product focus offering and our message around one single product called the wraps, the crazy wrap thing. How many of you have heard of it, right? So this became the mantra. This became the focus. They already had the product, but just because you have something doesn't mean you understand it. A lot of you have your hands on something right now, but some of us don't understand what we have our hands on in terms of timing, in terms of product, in terms of compensation plan. This is exactly why I'm so proud that each and every one of you is on this call this morning, because faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. That's why you come to trainings. That's why you come to events. That's why you get on three-way calls. I'm so proud of Nadia over there in Canada, constantly going at it. See, she right now you may see her in her 2010 season, but I see her in her 2019 season. Because eyes that look are common, but eyes that can see are rare. All right, so that's 2011. Watch what happens. They have one single-minded of focus. We're going to lead with the wraps. It's going to be, wrap parties all over the world. That's what the focus was. We're going to have wrap parties all over the world. Now, I know many of you, you're focused on social media. You're focused on host to post. You're focusing on inboxing and all of that. But I can tell you the reason why there was a monumental leap. You ever heard of this thing called a leap of faith? People were leaping from their living rooms into other people's living rooms, wrapping them. They were getting out into the marketplace. They were talking to people. They were blitzing. They were having communication. And watch this. They went from 45 million in sales in 2011. This is total global sales. To 2012, $200 million in revenues. That's more than 140 million plus growth in one single year. A year can change your life. The difference of 12 months, you can go from complete disaster to master in 1 year. I don't care where your volume is. Some of you need to get out of the back office and get into the front office. Don't look at your back office. Get into your front office. What are you feeding your mind? What's going into your heart? How can you tell what's going into your heart? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I can just sit and listen to you and tell what's in your heart. That's 2012, 200 million. Watch this, 2013, 450 million. So Jared, how do you go Mark Pentecost? Mark Pentecost ain't 6'10". Mark Pentecost like 5'9", okay? I was just with him. I was measuring, making sure. You ain't tall. Mark Pentecost like 5, really a solid 5'8", okay? Now, it's not always taller than me, none of that. But let me tell you what's solid and strong. His mindset. What's your mind set on? Are you listening to me? Is your mind set on the future, or is it replaying the past hurt and failures? What's my mind set on? My mindset. Doug, who I was with, Doug is the president. What is Doug's title? Doug see all the money. He handles the expenses, all the, if all of that goes through Doug. Doug went to Mark, 2010. Went to Mark, 2000. Mark, you got to close down your doors, bro. How long are you going to keep putting money into It Works and it's not producing result? You're losing too much money. My question for you is, let me be the Doug in your life this morning. You're the Mark Pentecostal for your family. I'm gonna play the role of Doug this morning. How long are you going to keep spending auto ship and ain't making no money? How long you going to keep going to meetings and nobody's showing up? It may be time for you to pull out. But my question for you is, are you going to have a Mark Pentecost attitude? Are you going to have a Mark Pentecost mindset? Mark told him, I'm all in. Mark told him, I'm going to do it or I'm going to die. You're going to see me at the top of the mountain or you're going to find me dead on the side of the road, but I ain't coming back. That's the mindset you got to have. Now watch this. You got to have that mindset while you're in the pit. Some of you want to have that mindset when you get to the palace. No, I'm saying you got to have that mindset in 2010. You got to have that mindset when you're in the pit, covered, buried by people you trusted. Now watch this. That's 2013, 450 million. 2014, 500 million. Are you watching this? 2015, $697 million in total global sales. So Jared, let me stop for a moment. What happened? It's the same Mark in 2010. It's the same Mark. Mark, how you go from 25 million in global sales in 2010 to 4 years later, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you go from 25 million to 697 million. What changed? Watch this. This is revelation for you, and then I'm finished because I want to talk to you about what's coming. What changed? What changed? What changed, Mark? Mark, what changed? I asked him, what changed? You know what he told me? This right here, this blew me away. Mark, what changed for you? Here's Mark's response. Bridget, Fatima, here's Mark's response. Nothing. Shucks. Nothing changed. What do you mean, Jared? Write it down for your notes. My consistency remained. Nothing changed. I just decided. That word decide, it rhymes with homicide and suicide. It means something or someone dies. Les Brown says you must die to who you are so you can give birth to who you will become. Nothing changed. I stayed consistent. And when you stay consistent, you get it. You stay consistent, the right people show up. You stay consistent, the right people call you. You stay consistent, the right people inbox you. You stay consistent, and the right people will find you. You stay consistent, and you make a leap of faith. And here's what's happening 2020. I told you, it's shareable, it's sampleable, it's consumable, and it's retailable. It's shareable, sampleable, consumable, retailable. Shareable, sampleable, consumable, retailable. These products that are coming. And we're going back to the tip of the spear in terms of single-mindedness of focus of what we lead with. See, we started that way, then we had to expand our product line. Why? Because they realized loyal customers and distributors weren't going to keep reordering just the wraps every single month. So they introduced keto coffee. They introduced collagen. They introduced, oh, by the way, the number one selling product in the entire company is the coffee line. It's the keto coffee. Keto coffee is the number one seller. Number two is collagen. Number three is hair, skin, and nails. I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow. Then it's between number three is hair, skin, and nails and collagen. So we expanded the product line so you have more options. And now, of course, we've got about 50 different products that's there. Now, here's the single-mindedness of focus. We're going back to simple. Going back to simple in terms of our messaging as a company, our messaging in the field. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to start seeing the combination of this kicking off in December. The language, the verbiage, the product announcements, a lot of that's coming. Bonuses are coming back. Woo! Are you listening? Them bonuses are going to be big. Remember I told you our mantra, our song, hopefully you've been playing it. I'm trying to get and permeate while you're in the pit, some of you. Some of you are in the palace, but I'm trying to permeate and fertilize and water your seeds of faith. That's why I want you listening to that song. It's going to be big because I'm telling you what's coming. Now, when these products are announced, the mindset of the company, I want to kind of bring you in behind the door, is all about simple, shareable, consumable. Whereas it's not just going to appeal to women only. Women are going to love these. I mean, women, y'all are going to kill this. I'm letting you know right now. Y'all going to kill it. I mean, it's not even fair. It's not fair. But men, fellas, they have opened the door for you to get on the dance floor. They have now saying, fellas, welcome to the party. So here's what's going to happen. Listen to me. Here's what I want you focused on. Closing out November. Closing out November, you need to be making new friends. Closing out November, you need to be marketing and promoting like never before. Those of you on social media, every single day, you need to be marketing. And what do I mean by marketing? You need to be posting for profits. What do I mean by that? Sharing your testimonial, sharing your stories, sharing your before and afters. You need to be, right now, I love the holiday season because you can start going through your phone, texting, messaging, connecting with people, and they don't think you crazy or weird. I was just thinking about you. It's almost Christmas time. I was just thinking about you. It's almost whatever it is. You need to be reconnecting, talking to people that you know, reconnecting, meeting new people all throughout November going into December. Exposures need to be at an all-time high. Did you hear me? Exposures need to be at an all-time high because I'm telling you, when these things drop, many of you, watch this, you're going to go from a 2010 season to a 2015 harvest. You're going to go from a 2010 seed to a 2015 harvest. You see that leap from 25 million to 697? Let me speak it into your life. Some of you are going to go from $25 in commissions to $697 in commissions. Some of you go from $25,000 for the year to $697,000. Do you receive that? You think I'm crazy, don't you? They thought Steve Jobs was crazy too. They thought Walt Disney was crazy too. They thought Mark Pentecost was crazy too. You can call me crazy, but you won't call me lazy. So here we go. I told you, November. It's going to be incredible. We're closing out. Today is the 30th. Phenomenal training. We're kicking off December 2nd, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will be doing the Opportunity Zoom. I want you to pack this thing up, stack it up like sardines in here. Okay? We're back 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 2nd. All right? Don't forget to log into the Sunday call, the Sunday training call with Mark Pentecost, Cammie Pentecost, Mike Patillo, as well as Pam Souder. That's going to be tomorrow, Sunday, at is that 9 p.m. Central? Is that 10 p.m. Eastern? I keep messing up on my times. But tomorrow, make sure you're logged on to that. Of course, on Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're back on this same Zoom. So again, here are your marching orders. Here's your marching orders. November, we're closing out. We're closing out strong. It's not over. I don't want you to be looking at December. I want you to be finishing out November. No mercy, November. Closing out, requalifying your rank, pushing yourself, enrolling those last final loyals, enrolling those last distributors in the month of November. Because December, I'm telling you right now, some of you, it's going to be, here's what you're going to have in December and in January. 2 classifications of people. You're going to have some people that say, I wish I would have. I wish I would have listened. I wish I would have implemented. I wish I would have continued. I wish I would have taken my game and my exposures and my faith and my focus to a whole nother level. And then you're going to have a separate classification of people that say, I'm so glad I did. Ladies and gentlemen, the month of December is going to be monumental for your business. I cannot wait to celebrate all the brand new rubies that will be promoted, all the brand new emeralds, all the brand new diamonds and double diamonds and triples and presidentials and ambassadors. 2020 is going to be explosive. You know, we talk about 2020 vision, and that's going to be the mantra. You're going to see a lot of that. But I'm telling you, 2020 is my year. Well, I don't change nothing. I'm going to be consistent. just like I was in 2010. So thank you so much, Mr. Coleman, for the incredible training. I'll turn it back over to you. I know we've got Nina Moore here. We've got so many other leaders. I'll turn it back over to you and let some of these other leaders have some echoing messages that they want to follow up with here.
Oh, no, I'm good, bro. I'm gonna turn it over to our presidential diamond, Mrs. Nina Rochelle Moorer. I'm unmuting your line. If you can hop on and.
I am here. So I'm rocking in my chair because I sat out there that jailhouse about to rock to death. Because if they only understood, right? I want to first say, I got to give my shout outs, Mr. and Mrs. Wilkins. Thank you so much for the vision that you all saw. Because had you not seen it before us all, none of us would be on this call right now. And then to my oldest brother, that's my oldest brother, our triple diamond, Rashiid Coleman. I want y'all to know he's the oldest. Phenomenal training. I can't even, I got notes. I'm going to give you your depths one time when I start teaching this, and then it's mine. But from drama to destination, that's the same thing I wrote down. One of the same things I wrote down when you talked about momentum and it flowing down, not up. And then Mr. Wilkins said something that was powerful. He said something about consistency. And as he said that, I was thinking, but consistency goes beyond the auto ship. Consistency is in your actions. Like when people are looking and searching to see who should I partner with, they first search on social media. What do they see? Because they're going to choose to partner with people that they see are still in the game based on what they see, because people hear with their eyes, not with their ears. And so consistency, ladies and gentlemen, beyond our auto ships, I'm thinking about the pop-up shop I did yesterday, and we wrapped the girl. I said, Marguerite, go get a wrap. That girl's stomach is going to go down. She was full of jelly. And guess what? Her picture, because see, I'm not giving up. We thought the BOGOs was over at midnight, right? See, this goes to show that you don't give up. The fat lady had not sung. I posted that picture, and all night long, a networker who started off saying, I'm going to be your loyal customer, that I met, check this out, here's where it goes bigger, who I met at the ANMP conference. So when you're saying, well, how do I meet networkers? How do I meet networkers? How do I meet networkers? You go to networking events, to other networking events. But think about it. So you go to your own events to get fueled. But I know many people don't show up at our own events. But I know the next one gonna be packed out December the 9th, right? We already said it. We said it like a month and a half ago. The event is on December the 9th, right? But then you go to other events to meet other networkers and to get fuel. And so think about it. I met this lady 2 years ago. She's been watching and watching and watching and watching, and says, you know what? Nix the whole loyal customer thing, Nina. I think I'm going to just go ahead and become a business partner. I said, that sounds wise to me. That sounds very wise to me. So here's another key. Consistency, right, which goes beyond the auto ship. But how about when you're responding to people, you've got a very short window of opportunity to get back to them before those french fries go cold. So if you don't respond, guess what they're going to do? They're either going to say, nah, never mind, or they're going to go look for someone else who looks like they're in the game. Everybody wants to play with Michael Jordan. Everybody wanted to play with Michael Jordan. Everybody wants to play with LeBron James, right? Everybody wanted to play with Kobe Bryant. Why? Why did they want to get, if you were being picked to play a basketball game and you had to choose whose team to be on, you want to be on a team with somebody who's what? In the game. Who you know is winning, who you know is at least moving and shaking and working. And what is the storyline saying about you? So when you're looking, when people are saying, I don't know about them, what is the storyline saying about us? And so I just want to thank you. All I know is, let me tell y'all something. There was a time, you all, when I was like the slinger in Philadelphia of this product, right? That I used to sling. I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all give me a retailable product. And I promise you right now, sure as my name is Nina Rochelle Coleman Moorer, you will see me on a corner somewhere near you. All right, so I'm excited about what's getting ready to come down the pipe. I got my brother choking. Shareable, sampleable. I don't even know if that's really a word, but we made it one. Highly, 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 highly consumable. And retailable, all I can say is ching, 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 ching. All right, so BOGOs have been extended. It is not over. The fat lady has not sung. And I say that if we wake up, right, and shake up, and listen. Stir up the gifts that are within you, because the month ain't over yet. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm still going back and forth with people like, y'all gonna get in. Y'all gonna hear me. Y'all gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today that you need to get in. And guess what? Guess why they gonna join? Because they can hear my excitement over again. Like, let me tell you something. I don't know what's coming, right? But December does start tomorrow. And then Cyber Monday is on Monday, right? All I know is it's gonna be big. Back to you.
Come on now. She got a lot of energy, y'all. She make me tired sometimes just watching and listening to her. And not because I'm her older brother, but listen, super excited. Again, I don't have anything else to say. I know Mr. Lemire and Brandy, if you're still on the line, I want to turn it over to you so that you could greet everybody.
Hey,
you,
Pastor,
sir?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay? Good. Hey, listen, I just want to share with everybody, and first of all, Pastor, your message today was epic. It was awesome. I was literally glued to the screen on my couch listening, and it hit a lot of homes for me and a lot of people I know today. So thank you for that. I mean, guys, the value of, as Jared's leadership that is part of this team, people pay thousands of dollars to go get this type of input and influence and training. And, you just absolutely crushed it. So I'm on the couch with you, and then Jared goes off on a tangent, which was epic-er, because it was like he was putting the icing on the cake. So now I'm standing up. I'm in my family room. We were supposed to leave like 20 minutes ago to some friend's house, and now I'm all flustered and excited. And, and then Nina, of course, I mean, she just puts it's like the Ruta meeting, right? The rocket up, she's got the rocket going, and it's exciting. So, but, that being said, I think for everybody on the call today, you feel this buildup of the energy. The BOGOs have been exciting. They're awesome. It's fun to see people use it to rank up. I also want to share that we've been using the BOGOs to recruit, because, I know when we joined, if we would have had a BOGO that day or that next day, I would have invested heavily into my store, into my inventory, sampling and sharing and personal use. As you all know, we have a massive family, and a lot of our kids use the product. Some of the older ones, we literally hide product from because they don't need it, or they can buy it on their own. But you know what? This BOGO is a recruiting opportunity. So yes, I know it's social and everyone buy one, get one free, but don't forget to use it for recruiting. We've been doing that for the last 2-3 days and having a lot of success with that. So I think the last thing I want to share is, along the lines of what Jared was sharing here today, and just goes back to the timing and the positioning. And, how many times do we all have an opportunity to be a part of, what I would call a divine opportunity? I mean, Mark Pentecost and Cindy, we all know that story. And, Mark is getting exactly what he deserves in life, and he's going to keep keeping on, and he's going to keep going, guys, with or without us. And he will be that multi-billion-dollar company. And I think for all of you on the call, you probably have a similar goal, vision for your family. We all do, and that's generational wealth. It's something that we can build here and actually keep long term. It's not going to be easy, like you said, Pastor. We're gonna hit those valleys. We're gonna go in those pits from time to time, and I think this is exactly why none of us can ever miss a Zoom. We can never miss an event, because some of this information we need to hear. I don't care how big and strong and we get. We have to constantly refuel that personal development, that energy that you infused in us today, and Jared infused in us today, and Nina infused in us today. It's so important. So I just can't thank all of you enough. This was an awesome Zoom for us. We're a little bit run down from a week in Mexico, coming right into a BOGO. We've been doing power hours, and I'm not a power hour guy. I'm not a customer guy, but I jump on these power hours and we have some fun. We produce business. We're going to do it again tonight. So those of you that want to join tonight, have some fun selling, recruiting. We're going to do that tonight at 8 o'clock. I'll get the meme out. Other than that, let's have an awesome weekend, man. And December is going to be epic. I can't wait to hear about these products. I wish I was there because I'd be spilling the beans. I'm a talker sometimes. But thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lemire. All right, listen, fam, we're going to log off. I know we've run a little bit over our usual time, but it's No Mercy November. We're closing out. We're closing strong, heading into December on the winds of a BOGO. Thanks again to Mr. and Mrs. Wilkins. I know Mr. and Mrs. Fisher were on. I want to recognize again Double Diamonds, Bridget Romeo, Wayman Patterson is on the line. I know Sheila Bell Burgess is on the line. Listen, we love all you guys. God bless. Have a fantastic day and weekend. Let's roll into December so that we roll into 2020 like gangbusters. Peace.
Let's go!